Hi guys, and welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. This is Scorpio's 2016 yearly forecast, okay? Scorpio, firstly, there's a few things I'd like to say before I actually start the reading. The first thing to say is thank you to all my lovely Scorpions. I'm also a Scorpio. For all your lovely messages throughout the year, for your support, for your likes, your shares, your subscribes. I'd like to thank everyone who's bought a personal reading with me. I hope that, you know, this channel and my website just goes from strength to strength. I've just let you know what's coming up on Carol's Universe over the next few days. What I'm doing for each of the 12 signs is I'm doing 3 readings a piece. There might be a 4th one, which is a horoscope stroke tarot reading. I'm not sure yet though, but I certainly know that there are definitely 3 readings per sign. Now, if you're Scorpio Moon or Scorpio Ascendant, your sun sign's something else, and you've come here to check it out, what's going on for you in terms of your Moon or Ascendant sign, just know that it might take me a couple of weeks to get everything up because these are huge readings. The first one obviously is your yearly 2016 reading. The second reading that I'm going to be coming back to you with is your January forecast for 2016, and the third reading is your life spread. So I'm going to be focusing on generally for each of the signs on your family in 2016, your love life, your career, your personal life, and your future for 2016. So it's a huge undertaking, and there's a lot of work that's going into this. Plus I have personal readings on, which I love doing. So bear with me. If your sign isn't up yet, it will definitely be up, but this is like huge readings that I'm doing and putting everything together. I'm not sure how long this reading is going to take, but it might take about an hour or something like that. So just sit back, relax, get a cup of tea, you know, and just enjoy what I see coming up for you guys. For each I'm reading in terms of quarters, so I'm doing January through to March, then I'm doing April through to June, then I'm doing July through to September, then October through to December, okay? And for each of the months, so January has 2 cards that will represent that month, February has 2 cards, March has 2 cards, and so on and so forth. But then I've also picked out a card to represent your general energy for those quarters. So for January and March, for some reason 2 cards flipped out to represent your general energy, or stroke advice card for those 3 months, but the rest of the months have 1 card that represents the general energy, okay? And also, if you'd like a reading with me, a personal reading, the website is just going from strength to strength. I've got so many ideas. Then you can just click on the details below. The links to the website is below. It's www.carolsuniverse.co.uk. So Scorpio, your general energy between January and March 2016 is the 3 of Wands and the Page of Cups. I'm just about to say Pentacles then. It's the Page of Cups. Page of Cups, pages are always messengers, or they're young people within the tarot, or as an energy you might be feeling young, you might be feeling quite vibrant, especially with that Page of Cups. The cups are emotions, okay? So usually when we see cups like 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups, it's all about the feeling of something. They can represent people though, definitely. Everything in the tarot, as long as it's got a person sitting on it, and even in terms of the pit cards like the 7 of Cups I can see here, or the 6 of Cups, it can represent people as well. It just depends on what that reading says to you, how it's speaking to you. That with the 3 of Wands for me, it's represents many things. As I've said, one thing that it can represent as a tarot card is that this guy has built what he needs to build behind him. This is why the 2 Wands are behind him, because they're actually the 2 of Wands. In the 2 of Wands, this guy goes off on a journey, okay? The 2 of Wands usually represents duality, okay? So it's do I kind of, it's light and dark. Do I kind of go this way, or do I go this way, or do I kind of go straight on? But I have a vision, and sometimes I see Wands as eyes as well, the visions, looking ahead, looking at what you want to do. And with the 3 of Wands, we see the culmination of that, because he's gone on this journey. It's the second step in creating his world, in creating his vision, and he's built something with those 2 of Wands, and now he's completed that stage. he now goes on with a further wand, which is this, that he's holding, and he's looking to see what else he can create, okay? He's looking for his ships to come in. So he's looking for the further ideas, he's looking for further opportunities, and he's just looking ahead. So this to me can represent a card that means looking ahead at further opportunities, looking to build on what you've already done, looking to expand, because the number 3 is often the card of expansion, growth, manifestation. Along with that Page of Cups, though, the Page of Cups is an invitation card. So sometimes it's a message, sometimes it's an invite. The pages are quite naive, they're quite young, so it could be something that starts up, it could be a new relationship, a message about a new relationship, or somebody sending you a kiss in a message, or inviting you to go somewhere. Usually that would be probably the Knight of Cups, though, because he's the kind of action, so that's kind of action literally being taken. But this can be a flirtatious card, it can be a flirtatious message, it can be, you know, a really kind of young, flirtatious, giggly type of message. That's how I see the Page of Cups. And with the 3 of Wands, I feel that this card is this person looking longingly for something. He's waiting for something to come in. This card can also be the one of longing. So if, for example, if you were doing a spread and you were looking to see how your boyfriend or your girlfriend or that love interest feels about you, and you got that 3 of Wands in that reading to signify their feelings, it could be either that this person has kind of, if it's not a settled relationship and if it's something new, it could be something that they're longing for. With the Page of Cups, I feel that something that maybe you guys are longing for is going to manifest within January to March. This is how I would read or look at these 2 cards. I feel that whatever it is that you've been waiting for, and I feel for some of you guys, you've been waiting for something for a long time, it kind of comes up into its own. And I also feel that with the Page of Cups, it could be you guys maybe offering something, maybe you guys drumming up this little bit of confidence to go out there and offer a service or offer something that provides some form of emotional value to others, okay? Because the cups are emotions, and what he's doing is he's offering the cup. You might look at offering something in a completely different way, or you might look at getting a message in, but not quite the message that you expected, or not in the way that you expected it, because we do have, with that Page of Cups, the cup that is offered with a fish. So it's almost like the guy is surprised at seeing the fish, okay? It's almost like it's not what he expected. So sometimes the Page of Cups can represent unexpected things coming to us, or unexpected news, for example. That's how I would see the Page of Cups at times, unexpected news. So it might be with the 3 of Wands something that you completely gave up on, and all of a sudden, bam, between January and March 2016, it actually does turn up for you. What else can I think of with this 3 of Wands and Page of Cups? Yeah, those are the 2 very strong energies for me. So I feel that you're to kind of, in a way, expect the unexpected in one way, in between January and March for Scorpio as your general energy. But I do feel that whatever it is that you've been longing for does potentially surface. And I feel that your ships are coming in, because the 3 of Wands can also be another card of your ships coming in. So something suddenly arriving to you. Okay, this can also, I feel, just be the card of opportunities coming in for you, because this guy is looking at what else is there to do. I need to do more. Okay, I've reached the initial stage of something. Now what else is there? What else can I jump into? What else can I kind of capture? So that's how I would see those cards. Between January and March, and it's funny because as I was shuffling, I mean, I'm using the large Rider-Waite Tarot deck purely for display purposes, because these cards are just so damn difficult to shuffle, it's unbelievable, so it's no point. I use my smaller Rider-Waite cards for this reading, and then I use the bigger ones for display. But as I was shuffling the other deck of Rider-Waites, the strangest thing happened, Scorpio. And I don't believe that this happens very often within tarot readings. I believe that the 2 cards that surfaced first, you can get them in the same reading, but not in kind of together, not kind of just together. I feel that you can get them kind of in a reading, but at different points in the reading. So maybe one will be the outcome, maybe one will be the external influence, or in external factors, or maybe one will be the near future and one will be the above position, or one will be the crossing card. But I don't believe that all the time you get these cards falling out wham together. And when these two cards fell out together, it's the first cards that represented January and March, I was kind of shocked and excited at the same time. The first two cards that fell out were the Empress and the Emperor together. They literally just flipped out together in that order, the Empress and the Emperor. And I was shocked. I was kind of like, what the hell is going on here? What does the universe want me to tell Scorpio? You want me to tell Scorpio something. There's something you need me to convey. And I feel that it's really weird, because I feel with the general energy being the Three of Wands, longingly waiting for something, waiting for your ships to come in, with the delivery of the message of the Page of Cups. I feel that for some of you guys, if this is a love situation beginning January 2016, I feel that your ships are going to be coming in. Because the Empress, who is she? She is, she's a mother. She's a nurturer. This is why we see the Empress as the mother, as the kind of archetypal mother within the tarot, because she's pregnant. She gives birth to children. And maybe for some of you guys, if you've been waiting to hear on a pregnancy, or if you're going to be getting pregnant, maybe some of you guys, because we do have that Empress and the Page of Cups. Usually they'd need to be side by side, but we do have them kind of in the same reading. So maybe this is something that you're looking to have come in, and for some of you guys it could be pregnancy. But I feel for both of these cards to fall out together, it was a really significant message. She is she's a very fertile character. She's very feminine. She's very beautiful. Is the Empress. If you look at her, she's flaxen haired. That's not the typical idea of beauty. There's all sorts of beauty. I'm black, and you know, this person is Chinese, and this person is Asian, and this person is dark haired. So there's all sorts of ideas of beauty. But she's sort of just the archetypal, you know, woman that everybody wants to be, healthy and pregnant. Not everybody, but a lot of women would like to be healthy and pregnant and abundant. And this card really signifies material wealth, and it signifies the journey that we take to achieving that, to achieving abundance, which means that you need to put work into that. Okay, you need to put work in order to achieve your dreams. And she's really done that. She's sitting on a very comfortable cushion. Everything looks really kind of cushiony. There's nothing hard in this card. She's surrounded by nature. She's nurtured everything that she has, okay? This card is completely about growth. And it's about creating things from the roots upwards, okay? And it's really a card about sensual pleasure, extravagance, progress in plans. This is definitely a card of progress. It's definitely a card of expansion, because the number 3 is a magical number, and it is the card of expansion. It goes like that, like a triangle. It expands, okay? It doesn't kind of, it's not stagnant, okay? But then there is stagnation, though, in this card as well, because this card not only represents growth, it represents the journey that we need to take to have things grow. So as you notice, this woman is forever pregnant on the card. She never really gives birth, but she never gives birth on the card because she's a picture. But it can represent frustration and delays. And what really this card is saying is that we need to be patient when we're waiting for something to manifest. That's really what the point of the Empress is a lot of the time, because obviously I've been pregnant, but I've never given birth. So I know for women who are kind of up to their 8-9 months in pregnancy, certainly for my sister, she used to always say, you know, when you get to kind of that last leg of the journey in terms of your pregnancy, you just want the baby out because it's so damn uncomfortable. She doesn't, and it's really weird, her face has just become alive to me. That is so strange. I'm looking at her face and it's almost like she just smiled at me or winked or something, but she looks so different when I'm looking at her now. She looks so knowing. It's the oddest thing when I'm looking at the Empress now, how this picture, her face just changed as I was talking about this. But It's almost like she has a little smile on her face. It's really weird. The more that you look at the tarot cards, the more that sometimes their faces change when you're talking about them. But this is about comfort. It's about sitting in your truth, sitting in your personal female strength, in your power. And this to me says it's strength and confidence and knowing that what you have built up will be manifested. And I feel that with the Emperor card, the Emperor is the archetypal masculine, you know, character. He's a very strong, very powerful, very influential individual, okay? He relies on reason and logic, but there is still passion behind the reason and logic. He never makes decisions without that power and without that passion, because he's ruled by the zodiac sign of Aries, and Aries is fire. Again, it's, you know, it's the blaze, it's the fire, it's the motivation to get things done. And for me, the Emperor is a very virile character. He is so he's essentially, I suppose, impregnated the Empress, okay, in a way. So they are kind of complementary energies in a way, I suppose, because in a way I'm looking at these characters and I'm seeing that the Emperor is giving the Empress a side look. So he sees the potential in this lady, okay? He sees her potential. But with the Empress, it's a case of that there is potential, but it's not yet realised. And the potential is in her stomach. The potential is the baby. The potential is the growth, okay? So when I look at these two characters together, I feel for Scorpio that your potential will be realised within between January and March. Now, it could be a case of that for some of you guys, if this was a career reading, perhaps, you know, you are the Empress, you've got all of these ideas and you're just looking for someone to help you kind of manifest them or bring them out of yourself. And that would also tie in, I suppose, with the general energy of the Three of Wands, because this is number 3, so it suggests it's more than one person. So for some of you guys, you might be looking for added support in terms of an idea or in terms of some form of business expansion or something like that with between January and March. So this would be very suggestive maybe of that Emperor and Empress. In fact, that the fact that the Emperor might be the backer for the Empress. So you might find that you've got someone there that can back up your ideas between January and March. You might find that you've got a real supporter there. Somebody who's got the money, the power, the drive, the you know, the logic. So in terms of you may have the ideas, but you've got someone there who has the business nous to bring that to life, if you see where I'm coming from. So maybe that's where the offer comes in with the Page of Cups. Somebody might be offering you something based on what you're bringing to the table. So you might be longingly or hoping for your ships to come in terms of your ideas with that Three of Wands. And boom, with the Page of Cups, we see somebody's making you an offer on those ideas. So they're offering to back you on something. And maybe this is where the Emperor and the Empress comes in. The Emperor is the backer and you are the ideas person, okay? Because cups are all not just about emotions, they're about creativity, okay? So you'll find a lot of cups people like the King of Cups might work in some form of creative endeavour. It's the same as the Queen of Cups, okay? So they're usually artists and poets and singers and that type of thing. Okay, but they're usually kind of, I feel that they're kind of understated with all of that stuff. They're not like showy like your wands. They're more kind of understated with it. So sometimes they might need that added fire to push them along. And that's what I'm seeing for this. So I'm seeing unrealised potential. Well, not unrealised, but unmanifest. Something that's not manifested as yet. Okay, so it's not expressed as yet. But I feel that the Emperor might be someone who is going to help the Empress, who i.e. is going to help you, Scorpio, to realise that potential. Now, I have Aries as my moon sign, so potentially I could be the Emperor, okay? The Empress could be the female side of me, my ideas, my softness, gently nurturing something that I have, that I'm interested in doing, and with the Emperor card, this is me standing in my truth. It's me standing in my power once that is manifested, because we go from the 3 up to the 4. Okay? So we go from what is unrealised to what is realised in those two cards. So I certainly feel that for some of you guys between January and March, if it's a relationship or if it's somebody that you've been waiting to come to you or contact you and you've been waiting a long time, potentially that could happen, because we do have that Page of Cups there as the communication card, and the communication is of a very sweet, loving, kind of shy nature. So it might be somebody who has been shy to contact you, who contacts you between those 3 months. With the Emperor and the Empress, we find that maybe this is a real deep soul connection going on there, okay? Maybe you've lived other lifetimes together. These are the classic parent cards, okay? So there's real synergy going on there with those two cards. And the fact that they flipped out together shows that there is some deep, strong connection that will be manifesting for you guys between those 3 months. It could be a love situation, it could be a business situation, it could simply just be some form of a partnership going on there. But there is definitely, it seems to me, to be a partnership that will materialise between those 3 months for Scorpio. This Emperor is ruled by rational thought also, okay? So he never does anything without rationalising it. He never jumps in. He's not a Knight of Wands or somebody like that. He's not impulsive. He literally thinks before he acts. This is why he looks over at the Empress and he's looking at her attributes. He's looking at, okay, what does she have to offer? What can she do? So in terms of that, it could be a case of that you have a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity, and you've worked on something for very long, for such a long time, which is why we have the Three of Wands. The guy is staring out. He's already built something with those Two of Wands behind him, but now he's waiting for his ships to come in. So he's already initially completed something here, and now he's just waiting for something that will come in to propel it even further. And this is what I'm seeing with the Empress and the Emperor card. The backer is the Emperor. You're the person with the ideas. You're just waiting. This is why we look at the Empress as being the card of waiting. A little bit of frustration with that. But there is always frustration with pregnancy when it's coming up to its final cycle, because you're waiting for something to be manifested. And eventually it is with the Emperor. Because you're waiting for that backing, you're waiting for that power, you're waiting for the power behind the throne, you're waiting for someone to take you and take your ideas out into the hemisphere, and this is what the Emperor can do for you. So I certainly feel that these are two people. The Empress, I believe, is Scorpio. The Emperor is probably an Aries bloke, maybe, but doesn't need to be, but he's certainly a powerful influence, certainly a powerful person coming in, I feel, for some of you guys between January and March. And I feel certainly if you've been waiting on something to come in, if you've been waiting for some form of support, remember the Three of Wands doesn't signify one person, it signifies many, then you'll get that support coming in between those 3 months. Whether it's in a love situation or whether it's in a partnership, business partnership situation, I certainly feel that. We also have the World. Along with the Eight of Pentacles. The World card's a beautiful card as far as I'm concerned, because it represents the end of a journey, the wrapping up of something. Now, when we look at journey cards, like the end of something or something ending, you know, you can look at things like the Death card, Tower card, maybe even Ace of Swords, and some of those cards can be quite violent in the way that things end. So the Tower card can be the sudden eruption of something that breaks everything apart, that breaks down what you thought was stable and kind of, but it breaks it down in order to set it up anew. So it's a breakdown in order to get a breakthrough. The Death card is usually a journey towards something. So it's usually slow death, slow moves towards something ending. Doesn't always have to be a bad end. It can mean moving to greater heights in a friendship or a relationship, changing in terms of what it is, from platonic to romantic, that type of thing. With the World card, we see a natural progression, because obviously it's the major arcana. It's 21 in the major arcana, so it's the last card. Fool card is 0. The Fool is the baby. He's naive. He doesn't know where he's going. He just sets off on a journey, and all along the major arcana he meets all of these characters, and he ends up through meeting all of these characters. All of these characters are the Fool. They're all facets of him as he goes through his life journey. He ends up being the world. He ends up learning lessons. The world is always turning. It's never stopping. So until we die or fall off our perches, we're always learning lessons in life. But coupled with the Eight of Pentacles, I feel that this is a new cycle for you in terms of work. Some new expansion, some new growth. And I feel that with that Three of Wands as your general energy, what we're looking at is that you have acquired some skills, okay? And you're ready to offer something out to the world. This is you because you're Scorpio, it's cups. Cups are representative of you. They're the water element. So maybe through the acquiring of skills that you've had in a previous role or a previous job or something that you've done, with that one wand in the hand, you're looking to manifest something again, manifest something different. Remember, wands are a tool to create magic. Magicians use wands. So I feel that it could be a case of that with all of the knowledge that you've acquired, you are actually looking to apply that into a new role. And I feel a new role does come in for some of you Scorpios during January and March, okay? This is the Apprentice card. It's one of education. It's one of stepping into a new role. It's one of working very hard. And I look at this card, and this guy looks like he's working so hard. So I feel that it will be something that you're quite passionate about. It will take some getting used to, though, I feel, because you're working so hard. You're trying to learn those skills. I feel there's a lot of advancement here with this Eight of Pentacles. Remember, the Eight of Pentacles is the pip card in relation to the Strength card, because that's number 8 as well. And the Strength card, whilst it represents in the Major Arcana female empowerment, it also represents the underlying themes of that card of male strength. So taming our fears. Could be taming a bad boy or taming a very strong male energy. And I feel within this number 8 card here, this is a case of really kind of buckling down and using all of your strength and all of your reserves to achieve something amazing in your life. And I feel that as the World card sits underneath the Empress, what we're looking at here is the Empress, who is now backed by the Emperor. A whole new world opens up to her. A whole new world is opening up to you in between January and March. That's what I'm feeling with this reading. A whole new world. Okay? You have now manifested what you want. There is the birth of the idea because you have the backing with that now, with this Emperor card here. You have that support going on there, I feel, with the Emperor. Okay, so now you are able to go out there and put something out into the world, but it takes hard work to do that. And that's where we find the Eight of Pentacles. A lot of hard work. Get your backing. You get your help. You get your assistance, whether that's in love, work, play, whatever it is. And this opens up a whole new world for you. The World card to me also signifies confidence, because when we learn lots and lots of lessons in life, it equips us in life. It equips us to go out there with the knowledge, with the resources, and it allows us then to make our stamp on the world because we are so confident and so assertive in what we know. The Empress, I wouldn't say, was the most assertive woman within the tarot. Yes, she's built up what she's built up. She's built it up very, very well, but she still needs help in manifesting those ideas and getting them out there. This is why she's still pregnant. This is why she might be sitting quite prettily and happily in the picture, but we don't really know what's going on in her mind. So she needs the support. She needs that added anchor in order to help take the baby out. Some women might give birth on their own, but it's a pretty difficult thing. This is why pregnant women need support from midwives, doctors, in order to have the baby come out safely. And this is what the Emperor is. The Emperor is the doctor to the Empress. He gives her the support that she needs in her hour of need. This is a really good combination, the Empress and the Emperor falling out together. It could mean for some of you guys you become new parents, because we do have that Page of Cups. And maybe that Three of Wands is waiting for the birth, which it is. The Two of Wands is the conception. Usually the Ace of Wands would be the conception, okay? But the Two of Wands is the growth. And the Three of Wands now is waiting for that baby to be born, waiting to add to your family. So I often see this as a card of adding to the family. There were 2 people here, and now there's an extra one. Baby makes 3. So for some of you guys, it could be that you're waiting to give birth and you become parents with the Emperor and the Empress. Okay, a cycle has changed with the World card, and now you're working diligently and hard with bringing up baby. We also see that within the Six of Cups underneath, children that represents, okay? So maybe there are children involved for some of you guys in those 3 months. Maybe you will be giving birth. But certainly there's birth to something going on here, and there's backing, there's help with that birth. Whether that's a baby, whether it's an idea, whether it's a relationship, it goes into the hemisphere, it goes into the stratosphere, because we have the World card sitting here and alongside. The final 2 cards we're seeing are the Seven of Cups and the Six of Cups. And I found that to be a really interesting combination, because we go from the 7 to the 6. But that's not so weird in a way, because neither cards are kind of, for me, neither are completion cards. The Seven of Cups always kind of represents, Seven of Cups for me is kind of like, how can I say, things in the virtual. There can be choices that we need to make. It can be not knowing what to choose. It can be confusion. It can be a card of procrastination even. It can be a card of feeling that you're worried about making the wrong choice about something. It's imagination. It's always fantasy, the Seven of Cups. It can be creating castles in the sky. But unless you pick, unless you choose something, it will always remain a fantasy. And the Six of Cups is also kind of a fantasy card as well, because the Six of Cups is to do with the past. It's to do with our memories of the past. It's to do with our longing for the past, nostalgia. But this can also be a support card too, because it's one child helping another. It's a more kind of knowledgeable child helping a more kind of naive kid. And you could say the same of the Empress and the Emperor in a way, because it's somebody who is more kind of in his mind, he's far more kind of advanced, I feel, than that Empress card, to be honest. She needs the Emperor to back her. Okay? He's the doctor to her patient, if that makes any sense to you. And I feel with this Six of Cups, it could be the same thing, where we're getting a lot of support from somebody who is probably in a far better position to give support, in a far better position to kind of help you out. And I see the Six of Cups as being a card of generosity. It's a card of giving. And it's funny because we do have that Seven of Cups. So this is not yet realised. It's all in the hemisphere. It's lots of choices. But does the person go for it? So potentially it could be that with those Seven of Cups there, what is in the virtual is now brought out into the open with that Six of Cups. Now with the tarot, we could always go along and say, yes, Six of Cups is only the past. But it's not, because I've done readings where I've seen that Six of Cups and it's suggested a highly manipulative move on somebody's part. It's suggested a seductress or a seductor, a seducer. So don't always believe that these cards are set in stone in terms of meanings, because you have to look at what is kind of the flow of the cards, the patterns, where they're placed, how the story kind of unfolds to you. And sometimes that can change a card's meaning completely. Completely. Also dependent on those pictures. So I do feel that you've got support here in January and March. And I feel that the significant cards that show support to me are definitely the Emperor and also that Six of Cups potentially. Also the Page of Cups. And it's funny, if I were to look right down, I see the Empress, the World, and the Seven of Cups. So it could be that with the Empress receiving support from the Emperor, a whole new world opens up to you. And that means a whole new world of choices, because we see the Seven of Cups right underneath that World card. The world is opening up to you, Scorpio, between January and March. And all year round, I feel it's opening up to you. With the Six of Cups, we're seeing an older child offering a younger child flowers. So it's the act of generosity, the act of giving. Another way we could look at this is that there is unfinished business potentially, because the Six of Cups is a past card. So it's a regressive card to me. It's going back to the past, it's regressing. And also the Seven of Cups can be looking at something that was in the virtual, but something that was never realised. So potentially for some of you guys, and with that Three of Wands there, longingly looking out, waiting for something to come about, waiting for the manifestation, for further manifestation to happen. Because remember, the Three of Wands is the initial completion of something, but we know that with initial completions, it's not the whole thing. We still need more. We still need that rock solid thing to come in that actually completes the project. You're in the initial completion stage of something, but we know there's further to go and there's more to achieve. So it could be with those two cards between January and March. They're from 2015, there's been unfinished business with something, because both cards are rooted in the past, and they're also rooted in something that is either not finished or something that is not accessible to us right now. The past will never be accessible to us, but only in a memory. And remember, the Seven of Cups to me represents the memory, because he's looking out, he's looking at something, but it's not realised. So to me, these two cards together could suggest unfinished business from the past. And with that Three of Wands, longingly waiting for something to come in, this could be the unfinished business. Finally, it comes in with that Page of Cups, which is the communication card. So the kind of, the little tinges, the sweetness, the naive, the shyness of communication. Okay, so maybe something that didn't manifest for you within 2015 will be manifesting, and that's the general energy here. But I see the general energy as being longing is now manifested. It comes into its own. Page of Cups is the communication card, emotional messages that are welcomed, good news. And Three of Wands is longing. So maybe you're longing for good news and it comes in. Seven of Cups, Six of Cups, unfinished business as far as I'm concerned when I look at those two cards. So potentially what is unfinished in 2015 will be wrapping up in 2016. You'll get your answer. But it's a wonderful, wonderful first 3 months for you, Scorpio. I feel it in my water that this is going to be a fantastic, fantastic first 3 months. Now what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at the second quarter of 2016. Now we're looking at April through to June 2016 for you. And your key card, your advice, stroke general theme is the High Priestess. I love this card, the High Priestess, because she is, she's often seen as either Pisces or Scorpio. That's the zodiac sign that she can come under. Usually Scorpio, I find, but I've also read that she can be Pisces too. I love the High Priestess because she doesn't need to say anything. She doesn't, and I often sort of affiliate myself with the High Priestess, because when I was going through everything I was going through in the workplace that I was in, I didn't feel that I needed to prove myself to anyone. I didn't feel that I needed to show people who I was. I just didn't feel any of that. I just felt, you know what, I kind of know what I know, and people can either take it or they can leave it. And I feel that the High Priestess, you know, she's seen as a really secretive, mysterious, she can be a sensual character, but that's more the Empress. But I feel that and she is counterpart to the Empress, funnily enough. It's really weird how everything interweaves, because she is the person who has an inner knowledge. She's kind of potential realised, but she's not expressed yet, okay? Because she doesn't feel that she needs to express it. She's all about the inner knowledge, the knowing. She's all about, when she thinks about things, she needs to work it out for herself. This is why she's kind of the duality. If you look at this card, you can see that she's sitting between two pillars, the B and the J. I think one's Boaz and the other one is Joachim, okay? So from darkness to light, okay? So this card is often representative in a reading when a secret needs to come out or a secret's about to be revealed. It's about enlightenment, okay? But it's about feeling enlightened within yourself. So the answers that you seek are all within you, which is why we look at the High Priestess as being a very kind of intuitive, introspective character, because she really tries to find the answers within herself. She allows her intuition to be her guide, so she kind of uses her intuition as her own kind of moral compass. That's how she navigates her way through the world, okay? She doesn't say anything, okay? She just kind of allows she allows God to speak to her, and she doesn't need to kind of use any external forces to get her answers, because she's so trusting of herself. Okay, and this is why she's the character within the tarot that everybody wants to lift the veil on. Who is this woman? Who is this secretive woman? What secrets does she hold? And she doesn't really feel that she needs to kind of know a lot. She just can't. She doesn't need to feel that she needs to express a lot, because she feels that it's all within her, and it's for the onlooker to kind of work her out. She kind of has I feel that she has. Even though she sits quietly, it's a little bit of fun and games for her, for people to try and work out who she is. Okay, all we see is a beautiful face, but she's completely clothed, and she's not showing anything. She's just kind of sitting there saying, whatever you think of me is whatever you think of me. I kind of know what I know, and that's it. And this is why I feel that she's kind of in the major arcana, she's one of the most fascinating characters for me, because she just doesn't express anything. If you look at the High Priestess and the Empress together, the Empress is more of the showy. She's more of kind of the beauty queen character, and this is more of her kind of silent sister, if that makes any sense. She holds a lot within her, but the whole point of this card is to reach your own enlightenment through your own moral compass, through your own intuitive compass. It's to reach the answers for yourself through how you feel as a character, and I feel that you guys are going to be doing that. This can be a card of if something is troubling you, or if you've been going, you know, having a problem for a while with something, it can be feeling enlightened. And I do feel that you guys between April and June 2016 are going to be reaching that point where there are going to be a lot of problems maybe that you've been having in 2015. I feel that they are going to be, you're going to be coming to a point of completion on those things. So it's, when I say completion, I mean enlightenment for yourself. That's either through an action that you're going to take, or it's through a thought process that you go through. The first card to show Scorpio for April to June 2016 is the Two of Cups. That's a beautiful, beautiful card, because the Two of Cups is grounded in love. I mean, you know, if you read any, I mean, I have lots of tarot books, and they always say, most of them always say, you know, the whole point of the Two of Cups, is really about love. It's about union. It's about affinity. It's about a beautiful, loving relationship. But I see the Two of Cups in many ways, because I see it as pledging something to someone. That can be in terms of friendship. It can be in terms of a negotiation, maybe a business partnership. It can be clinking glasses over something, making a promise on something. I see the Two of Cups as being a promise card. It can be a commitment. It can be marriage. But there isn't any marriage in this reading for those months, okay? We just see a pledge here, a commitment being made maybe with something. This represents harmony, balance, kindness, a bond of sorts. But remember, it's a pick card, okay? So it's a numbered card, and it's the Two of Cups, and the Two of Cups isn't strong enough on its own to suggest a long-term relationship. You need something like, I don't know, the Hierophant or the Lover's card to suggest maybe a really strong soulmate connection. But even the Lover's card as a major arcana card wouldn't be a card that would solidify this as being a really long-term relationship. You probably need something like the Ten of Pentacles alongside, because the cups are all rooted in emotion, and sometimes you need a card like a Ten of Pentacles to give it a bit more of a realistic foundation, because the pentacles are all about foundations, okay? They're all about what's here and now. They're the material. They're off the world, okay? So you'd need something like the Ten of Pentacles alongside that, maybe the Lovers, alongside the Lovers, to kind of suggest a real long-term strong bond. On its own, it's not good enough to suggest a long-term bond, but it can suggest the coming together of two people, the coming together of a bond, the coming together of a commitment. But the next day, who knows, that Two of Cups could be reversed. So it's not strong enough. But it's interesting because I feel that this Two of Cups for some of you guys could include someone. We do have a court card showing next door to this, and it's the King of Swords. So I do feel that for some of you guys between April and June 2016, we're looking at potentially a relationship situation going on here, okay? If it's the Emperor and the Empress that it's moving on from, it could be an interesting one. But I feel that this would be something new for you guys coming in, for some of you guys potentially. Could be a business partnership, because we do have that King of Swords there, and he is one of the most emotionless characters within the tarot as far as I'm concerned. He's all about what's going on up here rather than what's going on here. So we've kind of got polarized, or a polarity in terms of characters here, because one deals with the heart and one deals with the head. So maybe for some of you guys, and this is why we refer back to the High Priestess as the general energy, it's going with how you feel intuitively maybe about a relationship. The King of Swords would be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, because he's air. So this is someone who thinks with his head. Okay, so maybe for some of you guys, there could be a relationship that deals with an air sign. Now that Emperor is a very strong and powerful character that we saw at the beginning of the year, okay, January to March. Within the tarot, it doesn't matter, because you can have several characters that represent the one person. Okay, so we see the bonding within the first 3 months, and maybe this is something that you guys need to think about. Okay, because we've got this loveliness of the Two of Cups, but then we've got the King of Swords. So this could either be, I feel, a connection with an air sign male, okay, but this will be somebody who's kind of hard to infiltrate as an individual, and maybe that's why you're trying to use your intuition to work out whether this relationship is a goer or if it's not a goer. The King of Swords, if it represented a part of you, this is you trying to make a decision on a relationship, I find, okay, as a energy. This is you trying to come to a fair decision for yourself, and this is why the High Priestess is trying to rely on her intuition. This is you, Scorpio. I need enlightenment on this. I need to kind of get to a point where I know what's right for me. Because remember, B and J going from darkness into light. So you need the light bulb, you need clarity. And the King of Swords is all about clarity. It's about making a decision based on facts. Okay, so what are the facts of this relationship potentially? So if you're the Emperor and the Empress at the start of the year, and if it's a love reading, if it's to do with love, and you're looking at some form of a bond, then maybe within the next 3 months, what's happening with some of you guys is that you're trying to kind of decide on what you want from this relationship, okay? So you're still trying to probably figure this person out, potentially. Maybe it's something that came back to you and you're still trying to figure it out. You're still trying to figure out whether you want to be with this person, whether you don't want to be with them. Do they kind of... Is there really true synergy going on there? I do feel with that Emperor and Empress, there's real synergy, those two characters together. Definitely. For them to fall out of the pack at the beginning of me shuffling those and asking the universe what's coming up for you, that was priceless to see that. Absolutely priceless. I was really shocked. And they fell out and they just fell side by side. So that was a definite message for you Scorpios. But the Emperor doesn't have to be Aries, okay? He just doesn't. He just has to be a powerful male. And the King of Swords is usually a powerful male. He's usually someone who's in uniform, maybe. He could be working in the law. He could be someone who works in a very top job. He's very much an authority figure. The King of Swords is... he deals with rational again, which is why I looked at the Emperor, and there is a synergy with those two characters, the King of Swords and the Emperor. Because both cards deal with thought. Though I feel that the Emperor has a lot more fire behind him than this King of Swords. Okay? I don't notice any water really. I've noticed maybe bits of water around this guy, but it shows that he has some depth of feeling, but not much, to be honest with you, because everything is facts and figures and reason and what he can see. Okay? Nothing is kind of intuitively felt. It's all about, okay, if I do this, then I get this. 1 and 1 makes 2. 5 and 5 makes 10. So he deals very much in facts and figures. It can be somebody who works in the military, a government agency, prison security guard. He's very disciplined. He's very articulate. He's got a very razor-sharp mind, has the King of Swords. If this is a facet of you, then I feel that you're going to be kind of trying to make a decision on a relationship, potentially. Okay? And maybe you're going to need to take time out for that, because directly underneath this Two of Cups, we do have the Four of Swords. So that is taking time out, taking a break from something. And we also have that Ace of Swords next door to the Four of Swords, which means taking time out. For me, those two cards together, the Four of Swords and the Ace of Swords, means taking time out to try and work something out, to try and face up to a truth, or to try and cut through the bullshit of something. So I see a lot of thinking here. We got 3 Swords cards here showing up for you guys. And this represents to me a lot of thinking going on. If that's not the case, then I feel this Two of Cups has to do with this King of Swords guy. So I feel that you could expect between those 6 months, January through to June, a relationship in terms of love happening for some of you guys. Okay, I feel it's a very strong male energy, because we have the Emperor, but we also have the King of Swords, and both guys are thinkers. Both guys are very powerful. There's a lot of kind of connection between, I find, the King of Swords and also the Emperor. The Emperor, granted, is far more powerful than that King of Swords in terms of his influence, because he rules many, many people. But in terms of their outlook, in terms of how they play the game of life, they're both thinkers, and they both rule with a steel of iron. He rules with a sword of iron. And when he's ready to take action on something, he does take action on it. He thinks and then he acts. That's what the King of Swords does. But then that's what the Emperor does also. He thinks and then he acts. So I feel some of you could be involved potentially with an air sign male. Also, another thought that came to me in terms of this reading, Scorpio, for between April and also June, is that some of you might be going in for surgery. Okay? Might be cosmetic surgery, it might be any type of surgery, but I feel that some of you guys are going to be taking time out to have some surgery between those 3 months, because we do have the Four of Swords showing as your next 2 cards. And we've also got the Ace of Swords. Now, the Ace of Swords can mean surgery. It can mean cutting. So, cutting something away. And with that Four of Swords, we're seeing rest and respite. Taking time out to convalesce. Recuperate, recharge your batteries. So, I feel for some of you guys, you might be going in for cosmetic surgery. It doesn't have to be cosmetic surgery. It can be any surgery going. So you're going in for some sort of surgery. I feel it'll be absolutely fine, successful, because you're going to be recuperating and resting. I also feel between those 3 months also we have the Queen of Pentacles. And we've also got the Strength card. Both are very, very strong female energies, Scorpio. The Queen of Pentacles is a character who is very successful. She manages her home along with her children, along with her work life. She's very, very independent. And if I were to look at this as a story, I feel that some of you guys might be going in for surgery. And if we were to follow on from the Queen onto the Queen of Pentacles, I would say that this is you guys feeling a lot more confident and happier after you've had your surgery done. It sounds weird, but this is what I'm seeing. This is what my intuition is telling me within this reading. That there's a lot of confidence coming to you guys between those 3 months. A lot of confidence. Queen of Pentacles is, she juggles, as I've said, career, her home. She's good at business. She's very generous. She runs her household and her businesses very, very well. She can do things in tandem. She's like the Queen of Wands in that way, except that she plans things, whereas the Queen of Wands will just be like, zoom, just going to jump on that and do it. She actually plans stuff out. She can be someone who works in property sales, for example, because she's Pentacles, it's to do with earth, so it can be to do with houses and buildings and that type of thing. She usually could be a veterinarian or someone that works on the land, because the Pentacles, again, are earth, so they're all to do with the land and what we do with it and how we nurture it and how we build it up. She is someone who could run a large estate. She's very kind of socially poised. So I feel that after a time maybe of recuperation, you kind of come out from being the caterpillar to being the butterfly for some reason during those 3 months. And I feel that you're going to be feeling really sexual and really sexy, because we do have the Strength card as well. This is someone who is very strong. They're controlled, but in a very gentle way, because it is a female controlling a lion. She's very feminine. This can also be a character, a female, who uses her feminine wiles to tame men, to entice men. And usually on the Strength card, the lion would be representative of a male. So someone who's quite wild, who's quite free, but this woman wants to lock this man down and tame him. So I feel that you're going to be, for some of you guys, I just get the feeling intuitively the universe is saying cosmetic surgery for some reason or other. But whether it's cosmetic, whatever, you're going to be feeling really kind of refreshed, renewed, really independent. And also it's really weird because with the Four of Swords above this Queen of Pentacles, this could be I'm sensing a lot of you guys spending time kind of recuperating in nature. So maybe sitting out in the garden. It's going to be summertime by that time. Sitting out in the garden, taking stock of your lives, looking at nature, just feeling really good around your home as well. But I'm looking at the King of Swords, and straight down we see the Ace of Swords, and then we see Strength. So if I were to look at it in this way, I would say that the King of Swords is the man that you want to tame, but he's so strong of mind. Okay, so maybe you want to kind of, with the High Priestess, you're wanting to kind of, maybe there's been something troubling you within this relationship and you're wanting enlightenment. So you're wanting to go from darkness into light. And we see here with the King of Swords, he's a pretty difficult guy to infiltrate. He's pretty difficult to kind of work out because he has kind of an exterior of steel. You know, it's all that logic, it's all that kind of thinking with his head and not kind of revealing much of his heart. There's not much of water in this card. He sits on plain kind of solid earth, solid brick, whatever it is that he's sitting on, a little tuft of grass, but he's not kind of on much water, which suggests to me very little kind of emotion going on there. And I feel with this Two of Cups, maybe this is something that you want to kind of come together. Maybe it's something that a part of him you want him to realise. Maybe it's you're wanting to get to the heart of the relationship, but there's a little bit of a blockage there with that King of Swords. Maybe with the Four of Swords, you could be taking time out. Maybe taking time out for some sort of surgery with that Ace of Swords sitting right next to it. But then we look at the Four of Swords also, and that is evaluating situations. It's reviewing something there. You're trying to get to the truth of a matter. You need to kind of overcome this steeliness of the King of Swords, which you do with the Ace of Swords. Because then we see things softening. We see the King of Swords softening with the Lion. The King of Swords is the Lion can be quite ferocious, quite wild. Even though the King of Swords isn't seen as being wild, it might be that you're finding it difficult to tame someone between those months, and eventually you do with that Strength card. Eventually you tame that person that you thought that you could never tame, or you could never kind of lock down, or you could not lock down. I don't want to say lock down, because lockdown is kind of repressing somebody else's own free will or their own kind of personality or who they are. But maybe we see you kind of softening that King of Swords with the Strength card. Okay? But you're still retaining independence with that Queen of Pentacles. And as I said, for this 3 months, guys, we have the High Priestess there. So you're relying on yourself as your own compass, as your own map, as your own guide to tell you what you do. If you need time to rest, you do that with the Four of Swords, because you need to face up to something. You need to get through to the truth. You need to cut through a challenge, which is what the Ace of Swords does. It cuts away the deadwood. Okay, this isn't the ending of a relationship. This is the exploration of one. So I see you guys really kind of exploring yourselves during those 3 months and exploring a potential relationship. And I feel that that's a relationship between the Empress and the Emperor. I feel that you are kind of the softer side to the Emperor. If it's love that we're talking about with those 3 cards, it's the softness of it. Okay, the Empress softens the Emperor. Okay, just as the Emperor toughens up the Empress. But I feel there's a real exploration here, and this is why I feel we have the High Priestess as the general energy for those 3 months, April through to June, because you're really kind of trying to soften things up. You're trying to kind of have enlightenment, and as I've said, that card can represent getting enlightenment on a situation that was troubling you, and the enlightenment comes within this card, because really the King of Swords is a pussycat, because he is shown as the lion on the Strength card. So you can soften him. You can soften him. Definitely some cosmetic surgery coming in there, I feel. Not just cosmetic, but I don't know why I keep hearing cosmetic from the universe, but there's definitely a recuperation coming through surgery, maybe between those 3 months. You're going to be taking time out with that Queen of Pentacles. I feel sitting in your garden, sitting in nature. Time to review, time to reflect, time to think before you're up again with the Strength card. So a lot of sexual female power going on there. A lot of sexual power anyway, after all of that kind of thinking stuff going on. Also with the Queen of Pentacles and the Strength, this can be a woman who can handle several things. She not only handles the man in her life, she also handles her own business, her children, her work. The Queen of Pentacles are usually seen as very high up within financial institutions, that type of thing. The managers, you know, you can see that she holds 1 pentacle here. So she has some responsibility. So I'm seeing a lot of responsibility for you guys, and you're juggling stuff during 2016 within those 3 months. It's also, looking at those 2 cards, it can represent the ability to overcome stuff, overcome challenges. So overcoming the challenges of everyday life and trying to kind of get everything in balance. It's also about having the resources, the inner resources and the outer resources to control your own life, to control yourself from feeling intimidated by others. Okay, so you've got enough money there, Scorpio. You do have enough money. You're okay. I'm not saying that you're rich, but it looks like financially you're on an even keel. But certainly with the High Priestess for those 3 months, what the universe is saying is use your intuition, use your inner knowledge, use everything that you've learned from 2015 to guide you in the right direction in terms of a relationship, I feel, that's coming in for you. And in terms of also wanting to resolve anything that wasn't resolved for you. So if you need to get something done in terms of your health, I feel that the universe is saying that this is going to happen within 2016. Okay, in order to give you more confidence, in order to put the control back in your hands, I feel that the universe is saying that this was what will happen within 2016, especially within those 3 months. To me, the Strength card is about quiet determination. It's the determination to succeed against all odds. The Strength, the lion on this card can be seen as the odds. It can be seen as the challenge. So it's the determination to succeed despite what challenges you might face. Queen of Pentacles and Strength I also see as gentle women as well. So they're not loud, they're not bombastic. And it's the same as the High Priestess. She's a very controlled character, but that's because she knows who she is. Okay? So I feel that you're going to really be ramping up this confidence thing, but it's not something that you need to show. You don't need to show it. You don't need to show off with it. You don't need to be overly confident. You just feel this quiet sense of kind of, you know, I know how to get what I want in 2016. That's what I'm seeing here for you guys between the months April to June. I'm seeing people that know how to get what they want. And that's by taking time out. It's by learning that you don't need to be so kind of shouty or in your face. Not that Scorpios are always like that, but it's knowing that you don't need to kind of scream and fight in order to get what you want. You just kind of know that you can get what you want. You know, it's a case of slowly catch your monkey, if that makes any sense to you guys. I feel those 3 months are going to be really good for Scorpio.